everybody? It's Rental Robert here with Hustle Nation. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I slept in this morning. Normally I get up about 2:40. I did. But I said, you know what? I want to go back to bed. You know why I did? Because I can! Exactly. That's pretty cool with having financial independence. You know, being a landlord, I get all kinds of people in all kinds of different situations looking for a place to stay. And it never ceases to amaze me the criteria, or not the criteria, but the situations surrounding why it is that they're looking for a place. And so, we got some hustle in the mug. I get a call, and because I do a lot with construction and, you know, take pictures of progress that we make and different things that we do and everything, I get a call yesterday, and this lady's like, hey, you want to buy a 6-bedroom, 2-bath, big, huge, double-wide mobile home? And I was like, does the land come with it? And she was like, no. So that means that I've got to move this thing, okay? Short park model, we'll hook it to the Dodge, baby, because it's got it. However, mobile home like that, no. And she said it's in real bad shape, so that means that there's probably going to need a lot of work and time and effort into just being able to get the thing to transport it. But I don't have the piece of property to park it, okay? That's the big thing right there. And so we get to talking, and I asked her, I said, you know, what exactly is going on? And she's in a bad marriage. And it's a bad situation because she cannot evict him, get him to leave because they're married, and he's not doing anything to contribute to the bills. And this is all according to her, okay? You got no idea what behind closed doors. She could be beating the living snot out of him every time he comes home, you know, for all I know, okay? So I just kind of take these things with a grain of salt. I just go by what they say, and then I'm like, okay, I understand. And so, you know, she called me about, 6-8 weeks ago and was asking me if I had a place. And the only thing I got coming up is probably going to be about November 1st, and that's way too long. It's a ways away for them. And so she said, well, you know, I got to know that we got 5 days to vacate the premise. Now, this situation is that they're renting the lot. They pay for their place to be parked on the lot, okay? And the landlord is only responsible for the sewer and the power going to the lot, and the resident pays for everything else because they own the dwelling itself. It's a great concept to get into because there's very little that can go wrong. Dirt. So think about that one. The thing about it is, she is stuck in a situation. The great thing is she's got a lot of drive, a lot of grit, a lot of determination, and she works, okay? She doesn't make a whole lot of money. And so she picks up hours where she's working at and everything. And like yesterday, I asked her, I said, she's got 4 kids. I asked her, I said, how much money do you have to your name right at this moment? She said, I have $100. And then she's got some kind of, long distance banking, you know, that was kind of set up through her job, so to speak. And it looked like a good deal to help her rebuild her credit. And it's gone from the 300s to 560. Great improvement. And something got hacked or something like that. And so then they took money off of it that she can't access now and everything. And I'm like, and I hear this stuff all the time, you know, and a lot of these people are like real big on these prepaid, you know, credit cards, and they'll go put 500 on there and then get, you know, for spend, and it's worth $20 for them to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, because I'm like, why don't you just go get Regions Bank here in Pensacola? Why don't you go get Penn Air or Navy Federal or something? Well, you know, and everything. And I'm like, okay. So I get to talking, and they have gotten an eviction notice, and she gave the husband a money order to go down and pay the fee, the lot rent. And he never did. He said, oh, I lost my wallet and I lost that money order. So, and I asked her, I said, let me ask you this. Everything that you've told me about him and things that he's done, why did it make sense to you to give him a money order to go pay lot rent that has to do with yours and your child's well-being living? And she said, because he's the one with the car. I don't have a car. I can't fault it. It is what it is. And so, you know, I'm sitting there thinking about this whole situation and this equation, and my dad was a wonderful guy. And when he was dying of cancer, he was 325 pounds. Big man. He stood 6'2", 320. He was huge. He was wide, okay? He had no neck. He looked like a very tall pit bull. I've got a big fist, but you could put my fist behind his and never see mine. His ring finger was a diameter of a quarter, okay? I remember when I was 5 years old, one Sunday morning before Sunday school, they're trying to get me and my sister to get motivated so we can go off to church, and I'm dragging feet and doing what I want, of course, and everything. And I remember him pulling my pants down and spanking me to get me motivated. And I went and looked in the mirror, and that handprint covered both cheeks. That tells you how big he is, okay? Loud, too. He didn't speak when he did. You paid attention. And the thing about it is that, you know, he talked a lot about making decisions, okay? And, you know, in the, I would say the first 0 to 25 of my life, you know, I ended up in a drug rehab. I'm in recovery, been clean, thank you God, 36 years. But my decision making did not get better just because I quit doing drugs, okay? It was still based on instant gratification. It was still based in doing irrational acts to provide rational results in my life. And the thing about it is that with my father, he passed in 2015 from esophageal cancer. And thankfully, I got to spend his last year and a half with him, and took care of him and sat with him a lot. And I didn't take care of him full time. My mom did that. The thing about it is that you know, one of the things that he talked about was about getting along with others. And in the landlord business, it is a people business, okay? A lot of people say it's a real estate business. It is to some degree, but it's more of a people business. And the thing about it is that there's a lot of unspoken rules in life that aren't really posted, but they're absolutes, they're truths, they're facts. And we've all heard about the golden rule. Well, the other golden rule that most people will never talk about is the one with the gold makes the rules. And so your employer pays you, he makes the rules, you follow them, you get a paycheck. This lady that I'm talking about, her whole situation could be different if she had more money. She'd have a place to live. She even told me, she said, look, if I can't get anybody to buy this thing, I'm going to strip everybody copper out of it, sell it, scrap it, and do whatever I can to raise enough capital to, you know, because they're probably going to end up having to go quickly into an extended stay or like a hotel. And, you know, I admire the determination. And this is really not a problem, though. This is what they call a situation. And this is another rule. Anything that money can fix is not a problem. It's a situation. Second rule tip for the day. Thing about my father dying from cancer is that was a problem. no amount of money was going to cure that. We've had people that are extremely wealthy, and my father was not wealthy. Okay, he had a good retirement. My mother does real well, doesn't have a care in the world or anything like that. But, my father spent money as quick as, if he saw it, he wanted it, he bought it. That's all there was to it. Okay, investing, no. He actually bought a couple rental properties one time. First time he had to move people's stuff out the street because of an eviction, he sold them right after that. He said, nope, not for me. I will give him credit on this. He tried many different things, okay? And, the situation is that if this lady had some type of foundation or a nest egg, she wouldn't be in this situation. She could have moved her and her kids out into a different place, left the husband behind, and said, adios, amigos. And I say all of this to bring this to the lesson, or the thought on my mind today is that it's extremely important to have reserves or a foundation, a savings account. People say it is 30 days, or not 30, but 3 months worth of reserves. If it costs you $5,000 a month to live, then you need to have 15,000 sitting in the bank, or even having it on hand cash, cutting out a indention in a book, make a book safe, or, if you got a little safe at the house, keeping it in there, or, I think it's better to have about 6 months of reserves, 30,000 if it costs you $5,000 a month, just in case. I highly recommend, 30 grand sitting in the bank and always have 10,000 cash within 20 minutes. You don't have to carry it with you. Some people aren't comfortable with that, but have 10 grand where you can put your hands on it within 20 minutes at any time, day or night. 2 o'clock in the morning, 20 minutes, I got 10 grand. Just make sure that happens, because you never know when there might be a deal come along. You might see that Fleetwood Cadillac you're looking for. You might see a new Harley. You might see a truck, something. Or you might come across a deal that, hey, this person's in a jam. They need some money real quick. They want to sell this. I know that I can turn it and I can make some money on it and everything like that. Opportunity exists and presents itself to those that push their intent out to the universe, okay? Couple things about me that people always know. I'm in real estate. I got a pit bull. I love God. Ride Harleys. Okay? Because you'll see pictures of me doing those a lot. And I talk about it a lot as well. Okay? Here's something that's crazy. People think that I'm a house flipper. Never flipped a house in my life. All they see is that I talk about money, financial independence, and I show a lot of pictures of different stages of construction going on, and they think, oh, you're a house flipper, and I'm not. I buy them, fix them, rent them. That's my retirement. So there you have it. Make sure that you remember the golden rule. The one with the gold makes the rules, and as long as you're a slave, you will always be under somebody else's control. One of the most liberating things that have ever happened to me is the day that I had enough money to finish my last 6 months of college years ago. And I was able to walk into a job that was the second best paying job in this town. And everybody that was doing that job beside me was in a situation they could not leave because they needed to make that amount of money. And the only other option they had is to get lucky and get on at the first place that pays the best, or they would have to go on the road working, and they didn't want to leave home. So there you have it. The golden rule. The one with the gold makes, don't become a slave. Let your money be a slave to you and work for you. It's Rental Robert with the Hustle Nation. Have a wonderful day.